Krasnoyarsk Big Crossing. In imperial times it was a huge mass of prisoners, exiles, convicts. Remembers Krasnoyarsk Decembrists. Moscow Highway escort prisoners to Sakhalin penal servitude. Early in the last century, there were frequent guests of the Social Democrats, Lenin, Stalin, Sverdlov, Dzerzhinsky, and others. Vladimir Lenin in his Sheshinskaya link went by steamer St. Nicholas south, down the Yenisei. Joseph Stalin in his sixth link was transferred on the Yenisei to the far north. From previous references he managed to escape, not from the north. Very problematic. In 1935 he was sent away the first batch of prisoners to build the Norilsk Industrial Complex.
Все года и века, и эпохи подряд все стремится к теплу от морозов и вьюг. Почему ж эти птицы на север летят, если птицам положено только на юг? Слава им не нужна и величие. Вот под крыльями кончится лед, и найдут они счастье птичье, как награду за тот перелет.
Lucky merchant Sotnikov before the revolution. In 1917 the first 200 tons of molten copper for the construction of the furnace, dismantled Udinka damaged church. True oven as the church collapsed, unable to withstand the insidious action of permafrost, but as they say precedent has been received.
Geologist Urvan Sefla in 1919 an expedition to Taimur. It is funded by the supreme ruler of Admiral Kolchak. Interested in the truth of Alexander Vasilyevich, not copper, nickel and coal. Coal was needed for him to build a port on the Yenisei and to supply the ships of the occupation forces, moving from the far north to central Siberia. Urvantsev in 1938 offered to work in Norilsk Geological Survey, but he refuses in Leningrad and his other projects. For disobeying it should incriminate in connection with Kolchak. And here he is in Norilsk, but the status of the prisoner.
Нам сиянье пока наблюдать не пришлось, это редко бывает, сиянье в цене, тишина, только чайки как молнии. Пустотой мы их кормим из рук, но наградою нам за безмолвие обязательно будет звук. Как давно снятся нам только белые сны, все иные оттенки снега занесли. Мы ослепли темно от такой белизны, но прозреем от черной полоски земли. Наше горло отпустит молчание, наша слабость растает как тень, и наградой за ночь отчаяния будет вечный полярный день. Север, воля, надежда, страна без границ, снег без грязи, как долгая жизнь без вранья. Воронье нам не выклюет глаз из глазниц, потому что не водится здесь воронья, кто не верил в дурные пророчества.
Abraham P. Zivanyizhin is the first director of the Norilsk Industrial Complex's predecessor Matviev for the failure of the targets was repressed. Zivanyizhin managed for a short time in severe conditions to organize the construction and launched production of nickel. Nickel in war is necessary as air nickel a component of armor. Open pit mine, Bear Creek. Recently here, resumed work as mining or mining method much more expensive. Over the years, the workings of it extracted 3 billion cubic meters of rock. Now this is 1 kilometer deep crater. Spectacular show. Here Cherry tourists.
What a terrible climate in Tamer when temperature was -40 terrible wind blows.
Vad är terrible klimato in Taimur, vindtemperatur was -40 terrible vindbluffs.
Our team of tomorrow, put on mine shafts, what is it?
Colonel, may I ask, what is mine shafts?
Wells mine pits prisoners call for laying explosives clearance meter by meter on a depth of 15 meters. It closely, damp and hard to breathe. One miner Kylie rock bottom, two on top of the collar, raised ground up. The worst thing is then when Sweetly Man rises up at the strong wind in the summer is nothing, but the winter is harmful. After 3 months of work in a hospital where it is called the OPT Division for the Dead. In order to survive in such a facility to work smoothly, no sweat. Also in the barracks are concoctions of needles drink, save your lives. A few words about the trenches to lay the explosives, which prisoners call mine shafts. To enhance the perception, had to resort to drawing. What is 15 meters? 15 meters the height of the 5-story building. 15 punch hole in rock is hard hellish work. And in the words of Colonel on a feature hard to survive. String is 1943. Command of the Soviet Army is preparing for battle at the Kursk Bulge. Events in the war reached their highest tension. As before, the attention of all parties focused on the Eastern Front, where Mukt was still very strong. Military industry across Europe working in Germany. To the place of the future battlefield shrink elite troops who did not know defeat. Shortage of nickel German industrialists compensated thickening armor of his Tiger and Panther, resulting in their tanks lost their tactical technical specifications are awkward. Our T-34 had a huge advantage in terms of maneuverability. The outcome of the battle is known. Therefore, nickel production, which organized the division in Norilsk, played a significant role in the victory. Norilsk Combine rightly named the division. Grateful descendants strangely commemorated the merchant Sotnikova is named in his honor rivulet near Norilsk Merchant. Urvantsev after a long work on the Taymyr Peninsula returned to Leningrad. According to the will was buried with his wife in Norilsk. Hear his heart. The Second World War made history in Japan under the name Great War East Asia. Japanese invaders do not consider themselves as they think they released the country enslaved by the colonialists. Prisoners of war, they do not consider themselves as the prisoner, did not give up and lay down their arms by order of the emperor. The exact number of Japanese who died from overwork in Norilsk is unknown, but according to the Krasnoyarsk Branchovy Memorial in Norilsk, took 420,000 prisoners, nearly 500,000 souls. With regard to Mr. Yamaguchi, the administration of the camp to save his life, he worked in the warmth in the team cleaning of industrial premises. After his release, he returned to Japan in Hokkaido Prefecture. If you would have written memoirs, it would be interesting to read them.
Молчание, наша слабость растает как тень, и наградой за ночь отчаяния будет вечный полярный день. Север, воля, надежда, страна без границ, снег без грязи, как долгая жизнь без вранья. Воронье нам не выклюет глаз из глазниц, потому что не водится здесь воронья. Кто не верил в дурные пророчества, снег не лег ни на миг отдохнуть, тем наградою за одиночество должен встретиться кто-нибудь.
As for the Norilsk Industrial Complex, he was, is and will be the flagship of non-ferrous metallurgy. He created work of thousands and thousands of people for what they are to us a depot.